Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Tammy from Homesteading in the City with Tammy. Today's video we're going to talk about the advantages of recovering our patio furniture cushions versus replacing them. If this is something that interests you, stick around. Let's get started. There are two major reasons why people will replace their patio furniture cushions. One, they're ripped and have holes in them, and two, they are bleached by the sun and stained and no longer look nice. With that being said, let's talk about why I needed to do something with my cushions. When I pulled my cushions in the fall, I realized that the sun had really deteriorated my material. They were stained and they were really bleached out. With this in mind, I knew I needed to do something with them before the next season. Let's talk about the cushions that I would need to replace. I have a couch, a chair, and an ottoman on my front porch. So to replace those cushions, I would need 5 24 by 24 inch cushions for the couch seat bases, the chair seat base, and the ottoman. And then I would need, and that cushion is 5 inches thick. And then I would need 4 24 by 19 back cushions for the back of the couch and the chair. And that cushion is 3 inches thick. With that in mind, I decided to let my fingers do the walking and got online to see what it was going to cost me to replace those cushions with equally to what I already had. I found a range of prices for that. They ranged from $65 to $150. I started looking closer and trying to decide what color of material I wanted and the pattern that I wanted. I settled on one that I really liked, and it happened to be $150 a set. The set was a seat cushion and a back cushion. The downside of this was they did not allow you to buy them in separates, meaning I could not buy just a seat cushion for my ottoman that I needed. So I was going to have to buy 5 full sets. 5 full sets of these cushions were going to cost me $750. The other downside was they were not the exact size that I needed. They were smaller. Yes, they would have fit, but would they have looked as nice as the ones I already had? Second, they were not nearly as thick as the ones that I had. They were only 3 inches thick, and I had 5-inch thick cushions. So I decided I would not buy those, and I looked at another one that was cheaper and at the $65 range. And again, I had the same issue. I couldn't buy them in separates. I had to buy 5 sets, and that was going to cost me $325. And again, they were not the right size, and they were only 3 inches thick as well. With that information, I decided that I would see if I could recover my cushions. First, I needed to make sure that the foam in my cushions was reusable. The way I did that is take the cover off of the one that was already damaged by being cracked, and to make sure that that cushion was okay. And it was. I was able to reuse that. It wasn't moldy and it wasn't wet, which was a good thing for me, that I didn't have to replace foam in my cushions. So now again, I decided to let my fingers do the walking and go in and look at fabric stores to see if I could find material that I even liked to want to make my own cushions. I was able again to find a variety of material, and the price varied in the outdoor material that they had. It ranged from $9 a yard to almost $50 a yard. I started looking at different patterns, and I found 2 patterns that I really liked. The first pattern happened, when I pulled it up, happened to be out of stock, and that was $38 a yard. The second pattern that I liked was $28 a yard, and they actually had the number of yards I needed in stock. When I decided to make my cushions, I decided that I was going to do a 2-tone fabric. So I went in search of the other fabric that I would need to make the rest of my cushion, and I found that, and that was $10 a yard. I put both of those fabrics in my shopping cart. When I put them in the shopping cart, I realized that the pattern fabric that I had was on sale. It was 40% off. But 2 days before that, I got a flyer in the mail from the fabric store, and next month, all outdoor fabric was going to be 50% off. With that in mind, I decided I was going to wait 2 days because the solid fabric that I needed for the contrast color wasn't on sale. So instead of paying $10 a yard for that, I was going to pay $5 a yard. And then the pattern material, I was getting it 40% off, but I was going to get an additional 10% off that. So that material was going to be down to $14 a yard instead of $17 a yard. So it was going to save me some money by waiting 2 days. I wasn't going to be sewing it up in the next afternoon anyway, so what's a couple of days? So 2 days went by, I got online and I went to my shopping cart to cash out with my discounts, and they no longer had the quantity of material that I needed. So I had to go somewhere else. And I knew that my local Walmart sometimes carried outdoor material. I went there to look to see if they had anything that I possibly would want. And when I got there, they had quite a selection of outdoor material, and they actually had one that was very similar to the one that I had in my cart at the local fabric store. I pulled the bolt off the rack and I started counting the ribs to make sure I had enough yardage on the bolt that would give me what I needed. And I did. And when I looked at the price, I realized that they were only charging $6.97 a yard for their material. The other store was going to charge me $14 a yard. I was getting at half of the discounted price. By waiting those 2 days for the sale price to come in, it allowed me to go somewhere else, and I ended up getting my material for quite a bit cheaper, seeing that now I'm paying a quarter of the price of what it would have been if I didn't have a coupon at all. Now, the contrasting material that I had was $6.99 a yard. Now, the contrasting that I was going to get from the fabric store would have been $5 a yard, but I was saving so much money on the printed material that it didn't really matter that I was going to spend an extra $6 because I only needed 3 yards, an extra $6 to buy the contrasting color. When I walked out of Walmart with my material, I ended up only spending $75 on material. Instead, at the other fabric store, my shopping cart was said that I was going to be paying $175 for the material. So I saved $100 right there by waiting those 2 days. I still also had to buy the waterproofing that I was going to use for my material. With that and the price of the material, I only ended up spending $125 for the waterproofing and the material. And I was still under the price of the material at the fabric store. The advantage I got from recovering my patio furniture cushions versus replacing them was first and foremost the money. I saved over $600, which is a significant amount of money. I would have been paying $750 for cushions at the store. Second, I got to pick and design my own covers, and nobody will have a set that matches what I have. Third, was being proud knowing that I was able to do this to recover those cushions. And fourth, knowing that I'm able to cut the seam that I hand stitched at the end of the season and remove my covers and wash them, treat them for any stains that they may have gotten on them, and also re-waterproof them for the next season, which will hopefully allow me to keep my covers and the cushions looking nice for a longer period of time. For me, the better deal was recovering my patio furniture cushions. I was able to save money, and I really enjoyed remaking the covers for these cushions with something that I absolutely love and like the look of on my front porch. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and hope to see you on the next one. Have a good day. See ya.